Good evening. Welcome back to the Glazov gang. Our gang members this evening: Sonja Schmidt, conservative political pundit; Evan Sayet, leading conservative comedian in the United States; and Austin Dragon, political analyst.
I feel like I'm in a
The
gang.
sunglasses.
You even got a little. As soon as you put that on, you got a little attitude.
This is the gang. This is the Glazov gang. And welcome to the Glazov gang. You should keep the sunglasses on for.
Listen, I didn't take 5 minutes putting on lashes to cover them.
Well, I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, is it just me? We have a president of the United States. It's Thanksgiving. He does not mention God. I mean, isn't Thanksgiving about thanking the Lord or whatever religion you might be a member of? There's something up with this president. Were you offended by it? Is it a reflection of something, Sonja?
Not surprised by it at all. I mean, he's tended to take out the National Day of Prayer. We've seen that he does things that are typically religious in nature and stays away from it.
But that's not true.
Even little things. I don't know if this is.
He has Ramadan
there's a connection.
celebration.
Well, exactly.
Even after Fort Hood, am I correct that he was sending out a shout out or something afterwards?
Yeah, he didn't even address the issue at the press conference until after he sent out a shout out to the people in the audience.
What's happening here? What kind of a president?
What's happening is, let me explain modern liberalism as quickly as I possibly can. The modern liberal believes that anything that succeeds is unjust. Because if you're so open-minded that nothing is better than anything else, then nothing should succeed. Therefore, the greatest injustice is Western civilization, America, Christian America, and Jewish Israel.
Okay, and Obama's part of this.
Okay, yeah, this is their thinking, that they're multiculturalists, they're internationalists. But Obama was asked.
Okay, take this back to why he's not mentioning
Obama,
God. Okay.
Obama was asked, do you believe in American exceptionalism? And he gave a very cute, politic, clever answer in which he said yes, but then went on to explain he really meant no. Well, if America's not exceptional, how do we get so rich? It's not fair. So the goal of the liberal, then, the
not
modern
just that,
liberal...
the whole history is that it's exceptional because we see every individual as having inalienable rights given by God, and this is completely exceptional. With all other nations.
So what they do is they take anything that we believe and attempt to undermine it, to undermine our success. That's how they believe in social justice. It'll bring about justice. So what he'll do is he'll not mention God on Thanksgiving, but he'll hold a Ramadan festival. He won't hold an Easter dinner, but he will anything that's not Western Judeo-Christian, he will support. Anything that's anti-Western Judeo-Christian.
Okay, wait a minute. Are you therefore implying that we have a president of the United States that either consciously or subconsciously wants to destroy this country?
I'm not implying it. I'm coming close to saying it. The only caveat I would say is we have to be careful what we mean by destroy. What he wants to do is put us in our place. We should be nothing special because we're not special. We shouldn't be rich. We shouldn't be prosperous. We shouldn't be strong. What right do we have, since we're nothing special, to be strong, rich, and prosperous? So to bring about justice, he wants to make us weaker, less prosperous, which is why, for example, it's the only thing that explains not allowing us to drill for oil, but paying for Brazil to drill for oil.
Okay, one second. We're going to move on, but does this mean that you're not a fan of Obama?
No, I like him a lot.
Okay. Austin, what do you think about what has been said by our two very wise people?
I don't necessarily agree that he consciously wants to destroy America. It's just part of, you mentioned kind of modern liberalism. It's just that's their mindset. They want the United States of America just to be one of the other countries of Western Europe.
Well, wait a minute, but America isn't. Like when Obama says we're going to transform this nation,
not to the liberal mind.
If you love this country,
right,
why do you want to transform it?
Because he doesn't love this country.
They want it to be the same as, they want us, America, to be the same as everyone else.
But then that means that he hates this country for what it is. He wants to build an America on the ashes of the one he wants to destroy.
That's correct.
I agree.
That's
but
correct.
To their mind, that's not they feel that, well, we want America to be the same. We want all people to be the same. We want to hold hands.
But that's against what America is.
Well, I'm
Exactly.
very uncomfortable with the fact that he does it. I would say that
Yeah.
Clinton was a liberal president, but he had the good sense of knowing how to act like or pretend he was
Absolutely.
like a normal American person.
Wait a minute,
Obama is he can't step outside of his own personal religious beliefs and
Which are
and
what?
maybe affinities.
Which are what?
I think that he is not. It's liberalism, but it's definitely secular. in nature. I do
He's
not.
not. I'm not condemning him. I'm just saying if he's not a Christian, but why doesn't he just come out and admit what he believes and what he doesn't believe?
I think
Because he
that's the
doesn't think he
reason
can
that he
win.
doesn't admit many things that he wants to do and plans on doing. That's why everything is vague. Fundamentally transforming
Hope,
America,
change.
hope, change. If any liberal to the degree that Obama is, came out and they were completely honest about what their plans were, they wouldn't get voted in a heartbeat.
Right.
Al Sonja, what are Obama's real plans?
I think that he is a socialist in nature. He is a Marxist in nature.
Is he a communist?
I believe they're all wrapped up into one. What he isn't is an American in the sense that that holds to the esteem and wants to promote the traditions and the values that America has made America great. He believes that all that has been unfair. He's got payback to do. Now he's in a position to be able to do it.
That's what they mean by social justice. Just one difference between Bill Clinton and Obama.
Who was more radical?
Oh, Obama's more
definitely
radical.
more radical.
Here's the difference. Clinton was a prostitute. He wanted to be liked. He wanted popularity. So when that meant moving to the middle, when that meant welfare reform, when that meant Obama is an ideologue. Obama doesn't care. I mean, of course, he'd like to get reelected, but Obama doesn't care if he's hated. In fact, he'd kind of like to be hated by the American people because he doesn't like the American people. We cling to our guns and our religion out of antipathy for
Wait a
people
minute.
who are
Are you
different than we are.
saying that with Bill Clinton, principles were up for auction? In other words, he didn't really have any principles.
Well, he might have had personal principles. If he could snap his fingers and make the world a certain way, he's probably a leftist.
But with Obama, he's really committed to.
He's really committed to this notion of social justice, which requires the tamping down of and the weakening of all that's good, right, and successful, and the elevation and esteem and stature of all that's evil, failed, and wrong.
In terms of this huge debt that he's been building up, is this a part of it, Austin? That, if you build up a big enough debt, I mean, the system will collapse. Is there a strategy here? Why is he, for instance, siding verbally with the Occupy Wall Street degenerates?
Well, I mean, the reason for that is because the left in general wanted their own version of the Tea Party, and they were just salivating. And then when this came about, they said, "Oh, this is our version of the Tea Party," not knowing that it would devolve. For sensible people, we knew what was coming, but the crime and the rapes and all the kind of craziness with this Occupy Wall Street thing. But quite frankly, I mean, for Obama, I wouldn't go so far as to say he's doing all this because he wants to destroy America. Again, going back to the mindset, they feel this is how. When they did all of the stimulus and everything, they said the reason it failed is because we didn't spend enough money. I mean, which is just crazy.
But Cloud pivot.
Would a president with some integrity and some wisdom have said something different to the Occupy Wall Street people? I mean,
Absolutely.
in terms of this public masturbation and rapes, you would never see the Tea Party behaving in this way.
Absolutely.
It looked like
Doesn't a president have a responsibility to denounce this behavior?
Well, I spent my last weekend reading David Horowitz's book, and it's
Radical Son?
Rules for the
Rules
Revolution.
okay.
The Revolution. It explains the Alinsky method. The occupiers and everything that we're talking about now, the breaking down of our economy, is absolutely purposeful. They are rules in the book that explain how to do it, why they're doing it, and what they want the outcome to be.
I think,
We
it's
must
Rules for
break down-
Radicals you were reading.
Well,
by
that's
Horowitz.
Saul Alinsky.
That's no. I was reading Horowitz's
it has it.
explanation
Oh,
of the book.
Yeah.
And Rules for the Revolution, I believe it's called. Nevertheless, they need to break down what America is in order to rebuild it back into the image that they would like to see it in.
The only reason I don't agree with the vote for you completely is you are giving Obama far more credit than I think he deserves.
Oh, I don't. I think he doesn't really require a lot of credit to well, it's kind of an intentional pun, but to run up a debt like this doesn't really take a lot. He's maybe just regurgitating what he was brainwashed into accepting. I mean, go back and look who his mentors were growing up. Go back and look at William Ayers and his real connection, not the one that the mainstream media tried to cover up, the real connection to William Ayers. The Van Joneses that he brings into the White House with them. Okay, these are not accidents. Maybe he didn't invent this ideology himself. Maybe he didn't come up with the strategy himself. But this is a well-known. It's been laid out. It was given in lectures. It's given in lectures. It's in books. We know what they're doing, and they're doing it, and we're wondering, gee, I wonder if they're doing it.
And right in front of our faces. That's what I find so amazing, is that there is just no hiding it. It's right there.
But wait a minute. Now, if Obama gets in for a second term,
we're done.
A lot of people are afraid that because if there is a hidden agenda, and this is really a destructive individual who wants to destroy this country, we're going to see an Obama that we haven't seen in the first term.
He'll be a lame duck.
If he does win, how pessimistic are we? How much destruction has already been waged, and what would happen if he got in for a second term?
Yeah. I fear for the America as we know it, and as America goes, so goes the world. I mean, look at the damage that he's been able to do, first of all, just to the world before we even get to America, where just like during Jimmy Carter's time, they got rid of the Shah and brought in the Ayatollahs, and now they got rid of Mubarak, who was keeping the peace, and they're going to bring in the Muslim Brotherhood. It's amazing. You look at where the revolutions have cropped up just in the Arab Spring. All right? I've never done that in my whole life. I've never done that before. It feels good. I'm going to do it again.
Try it again.
You know what?
Put the sunglasses on and do it.
Oh, now you do.
Okay, we're going to discuss this in the third segment, but if Obama made it into the second term,
it would be disastrous.
Would it be a disaster?
It would be disastrous and perhaps and even likely irreversible.
Is it irreversible at this stage, the damage he's done?
Yeah, but it's hard. That's a long way to go. And it's not just him. It's 60 years of liberalism culminating in him.
Austin.
I think we're getting to a point of no return, but I don't think we're there yet. We also have to acknowledge it's not just liberalism. We've had, plenty of big government Republicans.
If Obama won again, would you be terrified, scared, depressed, ambivalent?
All of the above.
All of the above. Sonja?
Likewise, but I think and I think this is where Austin gets hung up too, is the word destruction. I don't even think that Obama sees it as destruction.
Right, he doesn't.
Right.
But it is.
However, absolutely, and I'm a grandmother.
Is Austin naive about Obama?
No. I think we're just talking about different words. It's not destruction. Yeah. And I know you use the word destruction. It's not, but it's going to be a change of America that we've never seen before. Is it irreversible? I believe that we're getting dangerously close to it, and that's why whoever the GOP candidate is, it's very important, because we don't need someone just to win. We need somebody who sees clearly what's going on and leads and does not pale, when it comes to changing this around, because we have a serious problem.
We have come to the end of the second segment. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you were to give Obama a report card, 10 being the best, in how he has conducted domestic affairs and foreign policy, what would you give him, Evan?
I would give him a 10 being the best.
Yeah.
I'd give him a 10 for accomplishing what he wanted to accomplish. I watch some of the, like O'Reilly, and he says it's because his failures are because he's naive or because he's inexperienced. No, he's accomplished what he wishes to accomplish. So to him, it's a 10. To me, it's a 0.
Sonja?
I would say absolutely the same.
So a 0. And then
I say he did a 10 exactly on domestic, and as well as you said for foreign affairs.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that he is leading leading America exactly where he wants it to go. I think, and in his eyes, he's right up there close to a 10.
Austin?
I'd give him negative numbers, but again, I think
-3.
Real negatives, but I think that I think there's he's too much credit is being given to Obama. I think he, in terms of foreign policy, doesn't know where he wants to go. He's kind
you don't
of
think he
flaky.
really has an agenda? You don't think?
So you think it's a
flailing
coincidence?
around. He's basically stepping back and saying, "Oh, let things happen as they
That's not what he did.
I mean, this is a person with a PhD
that's just not
hitting
true,
his
though.
right.
Either
He's doing that
inept
on
or
one end, and then he's
purposeful.
dropping drones. I mean,
But
that's
that's
not a coherent policy.
But it's very coherent that he unilaterally removed the missile defense shield from the democracies of Eastern Europe.
Right.
It's right. It's absolutely consistent. You look at the 4 places that I'm going to mention in the Middle East, or actually Iran's not in the Middle East, but He opposed the democratic uprising in Iran. He supported the overthrow of Mubarak. That's not inconsistent. That's utterly consistent. Iran was led by an enemy who wants to destroy the Jews. Mubarak was at peace with the Jews. So keep the Ayatollahs and the enemies of the Jews, Western civilization. Get rid of Mubarak, who was keeping the peace with the Jews, and that's utterly consistent. In the democracies of Eastern Europe, the democracy in the Middle East, now weakened because of Barack and threatened because of Barack Obama.
I don't think that a person that doesn't have a strategy bows to the Saudi king. Do you think he's just
That's
What American president hasn't?
No. Here's the key. It's not just that he bowed to the Saudi king and to the symbol of Japanese imperialism, but that he didn't bow to the Queen of England. Why? Because the other two were anti-Western, the symbol of Japanese imperialism, and the despotic Saudi king, and the Queen of England is an ally of America.
Evan and Sonja are saying that there's an agenda. You think he's stumbling in the dark, improvising?
I think he does have an agenda, but I don't think it's as clear-cut as I'm doing X to get Z as far as a result. I don't think it's like...
I think that a person that says they're going to transform the United States of America has an agenda. Sonja?
And he's not alone. It's not Obama making all these decisions.
Oh, no,
this is 60 years of this being put in place. While conservatives were going to church and taking their kids to school and being normal people, these people were planning. This is the plan put into place.
Do you think a derelict taken off the street could have done a better job as president in the last 4 years?
I believe so. I believe he could have.
Had better people around him.
You know, throwing darts at a dartboard. At least you get it right half the time. May I address something Austin said just to clarify a point? Which is that I absolutely agree, and I don't think I ever have used the word Republican or Democrat once in this section. When you said there are conservatives or Republicans who have spent too much. Yeah, that's when they were too liberal. It was their liberal policies that were still the mistake or what made the problems. You go back to the 1960s and you can see where our schools went from the best to the worst. You can see where our streets went from peaceful to violent. You can see where America's prestige in the world began to... You can look at, and it's been this culture war since the 60s and getting worse with each successive generation, and Obama is the culmination of it.
Thank you. We will be back for our third segment tomorrow night. Join the Glazov gang then. Thank you.